A Godot Moment, written and narrated by Ian Riddle. This story was inspired by Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, once described by the Irish critic Vivian Mercier as a play in which nothing happens twice. This is a story about nothing. It was first published in Collected Writings, Ian Riddle, Volume 1. Anyone who was anyone was at the party that night, as well as a few who weren't anyone yet, but hoped that one day they might be. They had little choice but to attend, all of them. Death was the only credible excuse. Just to be seen there at one of Anastasia's parties could be the making of them socially, and as parties go, this one in particular was a must be seen at, given whom the guests of honour were to be. Anastasia, do just call me Anna, darling, it's so much easier, is an eccentric socialite with impeccable breeding, the hostess. She's an imposing-looking woman too, one of maturing years and beauty, reputedly aristocratic and of Transylvanian origin. She'd billed the party as the literary party of the season, but then Anna is someone prone to hyperbole, the result of having been amongst the literary crowd for so long now. Anna's ability to sparkle in any cluster is a bonus. She is, as already noted, also predisposed to calling everybody darling, though with a deliciously foreign accent that leaves grown men crumbling, and women, most of whom should perhaps know better, vying to emulate her. Whether or not Anna really is Transylvanian, let alone of aristocratic background as she claims, is immaterial, for she's most definitely a hostess of exceptional talents, and this time has excelled even herself in securing their attendance at the event. Who else had ever done that? Could ever do that? No one, ever. Everyone agreed it was a coup. It was the one party they just had to be seen at that year, even if they never went to another one. They were all determined to be there, to a flea. It was the one party that no one could ignore, because not only was he coming, but she was coming as well. They would both be there at the same time, together, an unusual alignment of the stars, if ever there was one. People clamoured for invitations, some ready to mortgage their souls if necessary. To put things in perspective though, most of them would have gone to the party anyway, with or without the guests of honour attending. A party's a party after all, and they all love a bit of a do, especially when someone else is paying. Added to which, they've all been part of this particular circus for so long now, they hardly know any other way of life. They've little comprehension of any existence beyond their pale. When the whisper first went round about this party, there were those people who were sceptical, to say the least. Anna was indeed exceptional in her parties, but the two of them, together? It had to be questioned. It had rarely been heard of before, but then Anna confirmed she'd spoken with them. Darlings, don't worry. They've said they'll come, and they'll come. She'd known them from her days in Transylvania, she said, so with such provenance, attendance was requisite. There was also no escaping this party if you wanted to be noticed, and they did, these people, all of them. They all wanted to be noticed, and their hostess was superb at ensuring that just that happened. Anna's the sort of hostess that can make things happen. That's another reason why they attended. To be photographed attending, as well, of course, as meeting them. They desperately need to see their pictures in the sort of glossy magazines that are interested in featuring pictures of people like them. This time, though, they might even be photographed with him, or her, maybe both. A bonus if ever there was one. The excitement pre-event was palpable. Come the night, it was bubbling over along with the uncorked champagnes. It was only 8 o'clock and the session was already in full swing. Glasses were being charged, canapes in process of being nibbled. The atmosphere was electric, buzzing. An air of expectation stalked the room. Everybody had been exceedingly prompt in arriving, unusually so, way above the norm, but then this was a party that was way above the norm. They would be there. After all, they'd said they'd come, and Anna had confirmed. Outside, the paparazzi was snapping away, having been carefully leaked the information in sufficient time beforehand, whilst the inside was the domain of a few carefully selected photographers. Anna, dazzled and bejazzled, walking around in an outfit designed to match the glamour and glitz of the evening, meeting and greeting with her usual poise and cool, unruffled by the magnitude of the event, assuring everybody that they'll be coming soon. She was quite sanguine. "They'll be here. They've said they'll come," was her stock answer. "Do have another drink, darling," she would say as she flowed seamlessly on to the next guest. 9 o'clock came and went. 10 o'clock started to pass. Spirits were high, spirit bottles low. Fortunately, there were plenty of reserves. Anna was an experienced hostess with deep pockets. Old money, everybody assumed, coming, as she was supposed to have, from Transylvania. Even the alcohol, though, couldn't prevent small mutterings breaking out in odd corners, like wildfires. The one question, repeatedly starting to be asked, "Do you think they're coming?" The hostess quenched the flames as soon as they flared. "Of course they're coming, darling. Don't worry. They'll be here soon. They've said they'll come." By midnight, everyone except their hostess was getting nervous, twitchy even. Where were they? They weren't coming, were they? Had they all come to the party for nothing? Well, not nothing exactly. It had still been a good party, with or without them. Anna always threw good parties. To start with, a lot of gossip had been exchanged, the sort of gossip that to the casual observer might appear as being little more than nonsense, but to them was quite significant. Past achievements had been boasted of, present engagements talked about, future career highlights speculated upon, and to top it all, they'd been photographed as they'd hoped and expected. The only downside was they'd been photographed without them. It wasn't a complete waste, but at the same time, it hadn't quite fully matched their entire expectations. There was a sense of loss, of disappointment, little failure even. If they were to be honest, it hadn't quite met the high expectancies they'd had, but then the bar had been set high. Only Anna seemed to still carry the torch, the faith. She still believed, for after all, "They've said they'll come," she continued to chant as her mantra. Without any understanding of its significance to the occasion, the grandfather clock in the marbled hallway just ticked away the time until it showed a point on its face where everyone, except Anna, accepted that they might not be coming after all. In one group there was an aspiring young thespian of RADA training, resplendent in a loud pink jacket and discordant bow tie. He was a fledgling, eager for the limelight, keen to make his mark, to be a someone, though as yet not a someone fully tutored in the correct etiquettes. He was heard to say in stage whisper, "As things stand, Godot is likely to arrive the sooner." There was a stillness for a tense nanosecond before the tension broke, and laughter rang out, circulating the room faster than even their hostess could. Anna, not so much in realisation of the truth, but rather in a final acceptance, fled the floor in a flood of tears, ready to hang herself, though only metaphorically speaking, for this party was, after all, a literary affair. She wasn't seen out for a month, though. Maybe they'll come tomorrow, guffawed the young actor, quite unabashed. Should we go? Yes, let's go, replied another, but as the curtain fell on the evening, nobody moved. They parted till dawn.